Welcome to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. I'm Bernie Flowers, one of Uncle Sam's wayward children, and I believe that our country's best days are still in front of us. But those best days, if they are to come, we need to change the direction of the country right now before it's too late. I intend to talk about important topics every week in hopes of helping to improve our country and our way of life. We ask that you please like, share, and subscribe as we try to grow our channel and provide a voice to America's forgotten middle class. So now, let's get started. Anne Arundel County School Board candidate Chuck Yokum, my buddy, is our guest for this week. Chuck, how you doing?
Good, my friend. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, man, I appreciate you agreeing to come on. We've been talking about this, and the last time we were physically together, I think we were out waving signs out at the library over in Anne Arundel County.
We were Rivera Beach Library waving signs during early voting.
There you go. It was wonderful, man.
Appreciated the donuts, too.
Amen. Amen. You know I love donuts. Brother, let me tell you, I enjoy you, but a lot of people, need to know more about you. Tell us about yourself.
Sure. 61-year-old, 36-year veteran of Anne Arundel County Schools, father of three, proud grandfather of one 4-year-old who will be starting school, should be starting pre-K this fall, but I can't talk my daughter into it. So she'll be in kindergarten starting in the fall of 2025. Been involved in my community since I moved here. Teaching at the local high school, coaching with the youth athletics, started a nonprofit food pantry called the Caring Cupboard that started out as a food pantry to feed just the kids in the schools. But when COVID hit, we had to change gears, and now we feed all of Anne Arundel County.
Wow, man.
During COVID, we fed over 100,000 people.
You are something else. Everybody in Anne Arundel County loves you, and I'm hoping that we can get your name out beyond the county, because we need to get you elected. Bottom line.
I appreciate that. I think we do too.
Amen. So here's the deal. Every school board around the country has a sacred responsibility of ensuring that our children are ready for the world, ready for the future challenges that they will face. Every school board literally steers the shape of our nation and of the world. Mm-hmm. So with that said, what made you run for Anne Arundel County School Board?
Well, over the course of my 36-year career, I watched our school system go from really one of the top in the state, if not the nation. And over the course of the years, watching policies be developed that took us away from the basic fundamentals of education. Discipline became a massive issue. Basically, it's non-existent in our schools nowadays. And when the teachers are spending half of the class disciplining kids and getting them to quiet down, that's half of instructional time lost. And I think we need to get back to that. I also believe that we need to get back to the basic fundamentals of education. My campaign slogan is getting back to the drawing board, and each of the letters meaning something. D is discipline, obviously. R is reading. I think we need to get back to phonics. A is arithmetic. God bless us. We need to get away from the Common Core stuff. We don't need 13 steps to do a two-number multiplication problem anymore. Writing, we need to do more of it. On this side, I teach special police officers here in the state of Maryland. And one of the things that drives me nuts is the fact that these people can't even put subject-verb agreements together.
Wow.
And they've called me a grammar Nazi because I hammer it. I won't pass anybody until I can get a decent report out of them. Our writing skills in this school system, in this state, in this country are so poor. And part of writing, I even believe, is cursive. And I've taken a lot of heat about the cursive. But being a special ed teacher, I know that the cursive, writing in a cursive style does build neurons and motor skills that special ed kids need. So I believe that's there. Innovation. We've lost innovation. My superintendent has pulled back on the Chromebooks. During COVID, every kid got a Chromebook and they kept them until this year. He said, nope, we're taking them back. Figure it out yourself. And that is kind of the anti-innovation. When COVID hit, my daughter just really had a hard time. She just couldn't imagine how she was going to do anything on a computer. So I took her to Virginia Beach for the first day of school, and I stuck her up in the lifeguard stand. And I
Oh,
said, open up your laptop, go to work, go to school. Not thinking that maybe the Wi-Fi from the hotel didn't reach.
mm,
Fortunately, it did. So she was able to go to school, and she got to the point where she absolutely loved online learning. Now, when she went back to school, we had to do the whole socialization thing all over again. But one of the things she told me when she got back is that she said, Dad, teachers have forgotten how to teach. She said, we went back to school, and the first thing the teacher did was say, open your Chromebooks. And they literally taught from their Chromebooks at the front of the classroom. So we need to get that innovation back. And then along with that was the issue I had with her was the nurturing. We have a lot of kids who are facing trauma at home, be it abusive families, addiction in the household, kids that just need help. And we can't provide the services. We just don't have enough people. And part of my job when I left was partnership development. And I had some partnerships going with private mental health care providers who would come in and work pro bono with our kids and their families so that they could get back to learning the way they needed to learn. And I think if we get all that together, we'll bring it back to greatness. And that's my drawing. That's my drawing board, and I want to get back to it.
outstanding. It sounds like you got a great plan, and I'm doing everything I can to make sure you get a chance to implement it.
I
Hey,
appreciate it.
I got another question for you though.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your campaign. How's that going?
The campaign's going well. I will tell you, it started out, in December of last year, when a day after Christmas, I went down and filed, and it is the true definition of grassroots. For the biggest bulk of it, it was me and one other person knocking on the doors, putting up the signs, sticking my hand out for dollars, trying to raise that whatever I could to buy those materials I needed. Finally got my son. When he came back from college, he pitched in, and my eldest daughter and her husband pitched in at the end. So, I had a team of 5 people there to get through the primary. Spent the entire early voting sitting in a library in the 100-degree heat, just to get the name out there and get it known. So, true grassroots effort.
Absolutely outstanding. I love it. And like I said, I've been out there with you. Nobody works harder than you. So
Appreciate that.
you and Latoya and Dawn, you guys are my guys. So well, with that said, Anne Arundel County's budget, let's talk about that a little bit. It's well over $1 billion.
1.8.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you believe that the budget is properly allocated? And if not, what changes would you make?
Here's one of the things that most people don't know about our budget. 80% of our budget goes towards salaries. That's a huge portion of our budget. The rest of it goes, or the biggest bulk of the rest of it goes towards utilities, debt reduction, materials of instruction, costs that are pretty much fixed across the year. In the end, the superintendent has about $50 million of spending that is up to his discretion. And that's not a whole lot. For a $1.8 billion budget, that's not a whole lot. Now, is it being spent correctly? I want to say for the most part, yes. I believe there are some programs that could use some enhancement. I would like to see some of our ancillary staff, our custodians, secretaries, I would like to see them receive a little more salary. One of the interesting things I say about our schools, we have a lot of schools that are over 40 years old, but you wouldn't tell it by looking at it.
Yeah.
Because our custodial staff do a yeoman's job in keeping those schools looking sharp. So when the money people come in and start walking through the school, they think, well, this school looks great. There's nothing wrong with this school. When in fact, the school's falling down underneath of the shiny floors and the paint. But those folks who keep that school looking so good and keep it running smooth, they deserve more than what they're getting paid. So I would like to see some shifts in that. Teachers teachers are getting mandatory $60,000 from the blueprint as a starting salary, and they go up from there. Do I think they need more? Sure. I think they do. And I hope they would get it, but that would be increasing taxes. And that's something that the school board does not have purview over. That's a county executive job and the state general assembly to raise those taxes and feed the money to us so we could pay people.
Right.
But for the most part, when 99% of your budget's going to fixed costs, there's not a whole lot else you can do with it.
Well, I know you well enough to know that if anybody's going to scour through the budget and find where the fat is and trim it, it would be you.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. No doubt. I've already seen things that we could take, some here, some there, some here, some there. But when you're talking about paying for staff across a board of every custodial staff, you're going to need to find a few $1 million to give that pay raise.
There you go.
And I have no problems looking for it.
Well, I got 100% confidence in you, if that makes any difference.
I appreciate it.
I got another question for you, though.
Yes, sir.
You ready?
I am.
Sir, the floor is now yours. Say whatever you will to the people.
All right. Well, folks, like I said, 36 years in this business. I know where the issues are. I'm retired now, retired July 1st from the administration. So I would like to put that knowledge to use, get it back together, get the school system going back to greatness. Academic excellence is what I'm most passionate about. It's a term that really was not used. It was not used by any of my opponents in the primary until I used it. And quite frankly, the school system just came up with a new strategic plan. And after the first day, I was meeting with the chief of staff, and we went through the core values, they called them. Mm-hmm. And after we read it, I said, where's academic excellence? How is academic excellence not the core value of our school system? And he's, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be in there in the end. Well, in the end, it wasn't. It was a priority, but it wasn't a core value. And I think every school system should have at its core value academic excellence. And to do that, you have to have teachers who are highly trained. Last I heard, 40% of our math teachers were not certified math teachers. Wow. And that's a national problem. I'm not blaming the administration here for that. That's a national problem. We need to find a way to attract those teachers. And I worked on a lot of things that we could do to make things better for teachers. We had great partnerships with businesses who provided things for teachers at low cost or free, just to make life better. This is a very high cost of living county in Anne Arundel County.
Oh yeah,
one of the highest in the country. And one of the things I heard most from new teachers when I worked with them was, I can't pay my rent. I can't afford. What do I do?
Yeah.
And I had to find ways for them to live. And that was heartbreaking. And I want to take all these bits and pieces. I was a demographer for 17 years in the school system before I went back into instruction to help develop the magnet programs. And I saw the data. And the data I saw, number one, helped me start the caring cupboard, because I saw how many of our kids were food insecure in this county, at 26,000, which is amazing. And the other thing was I saw the test score data. In the state, in my district, one of my high schools has a 28% proficiency rating in math. The other one has a 40%. And I said early on in my campaign that this 3-star system, or this multi-star system we have in Maryland, where a school can get up to 5 stars, was bogus, because the 2 high schools in my area with a 28% and a 40% proficiency in math are 3-star schools. And I keep asking people in public when I'm talking to them, I'm door knocking and shaking hands, that if you went to a restaurant and they got 28% of your meal right, would you give them 3 stars? And they all agree no. They all agree no. And ironically, the 3 things I care about, that the star rating system, the phonics, and getting rid of Common Core, the new state superintendent has she wants to get rid of the star rating. She says it's ridiculous. And then the superintendent has brought us a new reading program and a new math program that are phonics based and walk away from the Common Core methodologies. I'm not taking credit for that, but I've been yelling about it for the last 6 months, and here it is. So I'm going to pretend they're listening to me. And now, once I get on the board, then I'll make sure they are.
There you go. Brother, how can people reach you if they need to?
Sure, multiple ways. First of all, feel free to send me a text anytime. I love texting. 410-227-2268. Again, 410-227-2268. They can email me at chuck@chuckyokum, number 4, BOE.com, chuckyokum4boe.com, or send me a message through Facebook. Direct message through my Facebook Messenger page. Again, Chuck Yokum for BOE on Facebook. Those are the best ways. Name of my campaign is Friends of Chuck Yokum for BOE. If anyone wants to make a contribution, I truly appreciate it.
I like it a lot. Man, let me tell you, I want to thank you for coming on the program. It's gone very, very quickly. But the bottom line is you got just so much experience in the school system. And I just think that you are the right guy. You and LaToya and Dawn make a formidable set of representatives. And I would like to see all three of you get in and do good for Anne Arundel County and the nation.
I think the three of us getting in, we could turn the system in the right direction. The other day, I met with a group of retired teachers from West Virginia, told them about drawing board. And one of them stood up and said, if we could do this nationally, we could change the direction of education in America. And I said, well, thank you, but I'm going to start with Anne Arundel County.
All politics are local, brother.
There you go.
All right. You take care of yourself, man. And
you too, my friend. I appreciate you.
And call me if you need me. You know that.
Will do. Will do.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Well, that's about it for now. This has been the Loyal Opposition Podcast, produced in association with Fallback Productions and other podcasters. I ask that you like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to get your copy of my book, Black Values Matter, available as an ebook on Amazon, Audible, and Apple Books. And also, it's okay to disagree, but if we want our country to prosper, we must insist on unity, transparency, and civility from ourselves and our fellow citizens. Thanks for listening to the Loyal Opposition Podcast. See you next week.